Literally. Oh my God.
And I forgot my spray.
Oh,
Do
I
you
like
have
that
spray,
idea.
Catherine? Yeah, we spray every day.
Every day
Spray.
we spray. Yeah, and
Gotta
we
spray. Gotta keep hydrated.
Yeah,
I
I just
mean,
drank a half a gallon of water.
yeah, that's what we have to do. You know, we're mature
Yes,
ladies.
yes, we're aging, but we're
are
aging
we?
in reverse.
Yeah. Yeah, there is no aging here. No.
No.
I watched a TED talk, and I'm trying to think what the expression was. Uh, uh, it, uh, it- later is later is greater, is what she said.
Later is greater. I like it.
And I say it's never too late to feel great.
I like that too.
So there you go. Later is greater, and it's never too late to feel great.
Look at that. We're starting the show off with two ways to think, two sound bites.
Yeah.
That's how we're starting. But really, we're going to start with I'm hanging out with my friend Tamar Medford.
And I'm hanging out with my friend Lane Kennedy.
It's Lane. Lane Kennedy.
It's Lane. I should know that by now.
And we're hanging out with Catharine Arnston of ENERGYBits. You're hanging out with us. This is the Now What Society. Thank you again for joining us and being a part of this community and spreading the good vibes and the good word on what we're doing. Did you know Singapore is growing?
It is?
Singapore is like our number 3 country right now.
Go Singapore.
Yes.
You need to get on the spray action then. We want to spray with Singapore.
Yeah. Bring it on. Let's go.
Just go to the nowwhatsociety.com/spray. Get your spray.
And then Costa Rica.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
I'd like to go to Costa Rica.
I love being able to know that we are a global community and that women all around the world come together and listen to the show and listen to our guests and really talk about what's important. You know, like we've had it. We're kind of frustrated. We're over it. We're done. We want to change.
Right.
And that's why we have Catharine on today, because she has this company, this nutrient-dense supplement. That's not really a supplement.
No, it's
a delicious energy bits. They're energy bits.
Algae bits.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Catharine, let's get into like who are you? Why are you on the show? Like, what's happening?
I'm aging in reverse.
That's right. You're aging in reverse with us. Thank God.
Yeah, so as I say, I'm aging backwards because I take so much algae every day, and I need cool ladies like you to take it so that when I'm 120,
yes,
you'll be around there too with me. I don't want to be
That's
the
what I'm
only
talking
one.
about.
I'm in.
That is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to be just with Gen Zs. I want to be with my people.
Can you imagine just hanging out with Gen Zs?
No.
I don't
Oh dear. So anyways,
I love Gen Zs saying I love you guys.
I do too. And I'm so grateful for what they're doing to the world and
Yes.
waking us up. They're waking us up. But anyways, I come from a slightly older generation, although as I said, I appear to be aging backwards. I have a birth certificate of a baby boomer and a soul of a millennial. So I think if anyone took my chronological age, I probably would be, my body would say I'm 30, but
You're a boomer? No.
I'm a boomer.
You don't look a day. No way.
No.
And I don't have a drop of makeup on today. In fact, usually I put a little bit of something on, but I've been so busy. I thought, oh, well, I'm just going to go with it. No, are you sitting down? I'm 66.
Get out
What?
of here.
66.
I would never. No.
Route 66.
I would think you were my age. No way.
So I'm not sure what your age is, but I'm so this, I'm telling you that I mean, I'm inching towards 70.
That's
Seriously.
amazing.
So
Wow.
when I tell you that this algae stuff is the real deal, I am living proof. I take no medications, no supplements. I sleep great. I have great digestion.
You're aging gracefully, which is beautiful. And how did you get on this trip of age? Like, first algae, like, let's talk about that. But how did you, like, why are you doing this? Like, what instigated it?
Yeah, well, I was minding my own business. I had a corporate career, was good enough. I'm actually Canadian, as I may have mentioned, and all my education was in Canada, so I did an MBA up there. And it was, as I say, a good enough career. And then my younger sister in Canada, who I'm very close to, 13 years ago developed breast cancer. I want to assure you and everyone who's listening, she's completely healed, and we celebrate every year cancer-free. She's 12 years cancer-free now.
Get out of here.
So awesome.
But 13 years ago, it was a devastation to her life and to her family. And so her oncologist told her, as she was preparing to take her chemotherapy, that she needed to change her diet to an alkaline diet. Now, they didn't tell her what an alkaline diet was or why it was good for her. So the first call she made was to me, her big sister who loves her. And I'm also just, it turns out, a really good researcher. So, hey, I knew nothing about nutrition, just like many people, but I can find out anything. So I said, I have no idea what this alkaline diet stuff is, but I will find out. And I did. And it turned out to be a plant-based diet because of the phytonutrients and the chlorophyll that help build your immune system. And her doctor wanted her to have a strongest immune system as possible when she was going through chemotherapy. So she did change her diet to a plant-based diet. She went through chemo, completely healed. Meanwhile, I read about 100 NIH articles and about 10 books on plant-based nutrition. Now, I have to remember, this was 13 or 14 years ago, and nobody was talking about plant-based nutrition then. So as I started reading the materials, I thought, man, this is crazy what this stuff does. Why doesn't anybody know about it? So I'm just a very passionate, action-oriented person. So I thought, I have to tell the world. Now remember, I had no nutrition background at all. So, but I, needed to do something because my sister was obviously had healed. So I gave up my corporate career of 25 years, by the way. I enrolled myself in the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. And I took a 1-year sort of health coaching certificate that gave me a ground level amount of information on nutrition, not a deep dive, but a basic level. And then I taught plant-based nutrition. I put my own curriculum together. This is what truly led me to Algae, because I was giving lectures at corporations and hospitals, encouraging people to eat more vegetables. And what they were telling me is that, hey, I know I should eat more vegetables. My mother's been trying to get me to eat more vegetables, but it's too much work. They're heavy to carry home from the grocery store. They take a long time to clean, to cook, to eat. They go bad quickly. A lot of people were getting gas from them. There was arguments at the dinner table with the husbands and kids. So I thought, okay, if I can't get green nutrition into people because it's too much work, I need to find something that's fast and easy that will give them the nutrition without any of the headache. So I just went back and looked at everything I'd found for my sister and did a deeper dive, and nothing was working out. And then boom, I got to algae, which turned out to be the most alkaline food in the world. That box was checked. The most nutrient dense food in the world. We have a quote from NASA that says 1 gram of algae has the same nutrition as 1,000 grams of fruits or vegetables. 1 to 1,000. It's been endorsed by the United Nations since 1974 as the answer to world hunger because, drum roll, it has 3 times the amount of protein as steak. It has the highest concentration of protein in the world. Ours is 64% protein. Just as a comparison, steak or chicken is about 22%. It's also the most eco-friendly, sustainable crop in the world. It's been providing oxygen for Earth for 80% of the oxygen since it started. By the way, algae was the first life on Earth 4 billion years ago. You don't get any more ancestral, any more paleo, any more down at the bottom of the food chain than algae. And I have some really cool stuff to tell you more about that. Algae's been used for centuries. It's a multi-billion, that's with a B, agricultural crop in Asia. So a couple important things. It's almost as big as the beef industry is here. So a couple of things I want people to know is algae is not a supplement. It is a food. This is a picture of a Spirulina farm. And this is a picture of a chlorella farm. Those are the 2 algae that we're going to talk about today. And so not only are they food, they're grown hydroponically in fresh water, not the ocean. Yes, there is algae in the ocean, but spirulina and chlorella are grown just like tomatoes or lettuce in fresh water. So because it's an agricultural crop and because it's a massive agricultural crop, the problem is nobody outside of Asia knows about it. Yet it's been documented in 100,000 studies. NIH studies, peer-reviewed studies, stops cancer, stops inflammation, stops skin disease, it stops just about everything, including aging, by the way, and I'm evidence of that. So when I realized all this about algae, that it was documented in science, used safely for the last 70 years, endorsed by all the international agencies, the most nutrient-dense food in the world, and effortless because it comes in little tiny tablets like this that you can swallow. Each one of these tablets are about the size of a baby aspirin, has the same nutrition as an entire plate of vegetables that you didn't have to clean, cook, or eat, or even chew. So one tablet has the same nutrition as an entire plate of vegetables. Problem solved. You never have to eat another vegetable again if you don't want to. This does everything for your babies, for your children, for your pets, for your husbands, for your wives. Unbelievable. If you take 5 or 10 of these a day, 10's better, but you know, we can start with 5. I don't even want to tell you how many I take. You will get all of your nutrition effortlessly. In seconds. So that's how I got into algae. And because nobody outside of Asia knows about it, I have spent all of the last 12 years researching it. I write papers, I speak at conferences, I'm doing a TED Talk, I'm writing a book, because you want the answer to longevity, you want the fountain of youth. Hello, Mother Nature, God bless her. And we'll tell you about the 2 different algae, spirulina and chlorella, because they do quite different things in your body. You take both of these every day, you will never get sick. If you are sick, you will be healed. I'm sorry, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, so I probably should be careful about those words, but they will give your body the nourishment it needs to correct whatever imbalance is going on in your body effortlessly.
What's the molecular structure? What are the actual like components of?
It's over 40 vitamins and minerals. Spirulina.
Yeah, I would like to know. I would like to know what the number one nutrients is, because it's going after, from the work that I do, it's going after the methylation process, the methylation cycle in the body. Once you clear up that cycle, you're free from breast cancer. Anything, whatever you got, what you have going on. So
methylation is a very key part, and I'd like to do a deeper dive on that when we talk about mitochondria, because it's not just the methylation; it's the mitochondria DNA damage that's occurring. When your mitochondria DNA are damaged, they send wrong signals to the other DNA and to your cell membranes, which cause damage to the cell membrane, which cause all kinds of inflammation. You have excess reactive oxygen species, and your entire body, all diseases they're realizing are mitochondrial disease. Alzheimer's, heart disease, everything comes. You can't get any further down into the body than mitochondria. And they've always known the inflammation was common in all illnesses, but they're now realizing over 90% of that inflammation is in the mitochondria, and it's because of mitochondrial DNA damage. And one of the things that algae has are the 4 antioxidants that can get into the mitochondria inner membrane. We'll talk about that in a minute, to prevent the free radical damage. It's quite a story. I mean, I've got some really wowie zowie stuff to tell you that's existed for 50 years in cell biology and evolutionary biology, but is not being recognized, or is not known, or well known certainly, in the metabolic health cellular community. So I just connected the dots because that's my wheelhouse.
Absolutely. So I have tried them. I've tried both the spirulina and the chlorella, and what I found was the coolest part, because of the journey I was on at that time, was that it actually curbed my cravings, like with, I think I was doing intermittent fasting at the time, and, to not eat for a long period of time was very difficult for me, but I found that I could just take them in the morning, and that was enough not to break my fast, but to keep me going through. And of course I would get that energy, and that's, if I'm not mistaken, the spirulina gives you the energy. Is that correct?
Yes. Which is why we call it ENERGYBits. We have the spirulina is packaged in, we call it ENERGYBits because it does give you energy. And the chlorella is a wellness algae. It builds your immune system and helps you recover from any health issue. So maybe this would be a good time to sort of dive into the difference between the two algae, because they do completely different things in your body. So spirulina is a blue-green algae, and I'll show you the again the little tablets. So as you can see, the blue, this is the spirulina, and it's a darker color because it has two pigments in it: phycocyanin, which is the blue pigment, and chlorophyll, which is a green pigment. In comparison, chlorella, it has just one pigment. It's just the chlorophyll. So now you can see the difference between the two colors. So the spirulina, which we call ENERGYBits, it was the first life on Earth almost 4 billion years ago. It has the highest concentration of protein in the world. Both of them, by the way, are ketogenic. They have 0 carbs, 1 calorie per tablet, 40 vitamins and minerals, at least 60% protein, although spirulina has 64. And it's also, spirulina is also loaded with essential fatty acids, including omega-3. So it's the protein and the omega-3 in particular that will satisfy your hunger. Now, the cool thing about spirulina is that it is actually a bacteria. It's called a cyanobacteria. And the reason why that's important is because there's nothing for your body to break down to get access to the protein. And of course, the protein, spirulina is also loaded with B vitamins. B vitamins are what convert the glucose and the protein into energy. So because there's nothing for your body to break down, and because it's a complete protein, it has 18 of the 20 aminos, including all 9 that your body can't make. And because there's no cellulose wall, it's absorbed instantly into your bloodstream if you chew them, and within minutes if you swallow them. Now, I just want to caution people, most people swallow the spirulina. It's a very earthy flavor, very, very hard to get used to.
Yeah.
A very, very few people chew them, although I do. And, you know, there are a handful of people, but I just want to be honest that that's the one downside of spirulina. Not very, it's an acquired taste, shall we say.
So I want to back up a little bit, because
Yeah.
we're just going through this so quickly. And I know our listeners are like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, okay,
Wait,
sure.
wait. So let's go back to the nutrient profile, because I think that is where a lot of women, you know, they think, oh, if I eat my broccoli, you know, and if I eat a salad, I'm good. I'm good. I get a smoothie in, I'm good. Right. And this is where, like, the work that I do, it's like, really, you need so much more than that, right? Our bodies just need so much more from that. And so what I'm hearing from you, Catherine, is that these 2 little magical pills,
Tablets. We try not to call them pills.
okay, good, because I don't like the word pill either.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Me
Okay,
neither.
so
Well, that's why
tablets.
we call them bits, because they're bits of nutrition.
Okay, bits. So these 2 little bits, I even like that even better because of the codons and the DNA work that I do.
Yeah.
So the bits that we put into our body have all of the essential minerals. That's what you're saying. All the essential vitamins that you're saying.
There's
Everything.
a nutrition chart. It's got,
So it's got everything in it. So
Pretty
this
much.
really makes it so much easier. Oh my God. This is like a godsend.
it's
Super.
unbelievable. Well, and that's why I was by myself for the first 4 years, because remember, I had no science background.
Yep.
And so I couldn't believe that something so incredible and documented in science was available to us, and that nobody outside of Asia knew about it. But I can promise you, 12, 13 years later, I am even more excited about algae than I was when I first discovered it, because you can't hide. This is a great thing about truth. It just resonates with you. Not only does it have all the nutrients in, because it's food, your body recognizes it. And God bless Mother Nature. She put them, all these nutrients together in this harmonic blend. You know, some people, they say, well, you got to eat, you know, spinach with citric acid or fruit or lemons to absorb the, you know, iron. You don't have to mix this either algae with anything, because it has everything in it. And by the way, I was the one that discovered that the nutrient profile of spirulina is virtually identical to mother's breast milk on an amino acid basis, the same percentages, which explained to me why in Japan, when babies are born and they can't digest mother's milk and they would die, they've tried everything. The only thing that keeps them alive is either spirulina or chlorella fed to them in water. And it's because the nutrient profile is virtually identical, especially spirulina. There's also a very important essential fatty acid called GLA, which stands for gamma linolenic acid, that's in spirulina. And the only place that has more of it is mother's breast milk. Spirulina has the second highest, and it's very essential for brain development. But it's crazy what this stuff has in it.
Why don't people talk about this?
Well, here's the thing.
Like, why are we not like really moving this up?
I'm trying.
It's you a party of one.
Yeah,
because
party of one, exactly.
When I've tasted chlorea, like I cannot, like I just like, ooh, I can't stomach it. So then I just shut it down. I'm like, nope, not doing it. But the bits, you're telling me I can swallow.
Yes.
So if I swallow them an hour later, am I going to have any kind of
nothing
flavor?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's not like fish oil. I tried for years. I tried every brand, every flavor. Nope. I would be repeating on that for hours, for days, but there's no repeat, zero repeat on either of the algae tablets. Now the chlorella, and I'll finish up with spirulina and we'll get to chlorella. It actually tastes pretty good if you put sea salt on it or have it with macadamia nuts or pistachios. So it changes the flavor. When you eat chlorella, not spirulina, but chlorella, again, the chlorella is the green one called ENERGYBits. When you eat this with macadamia nuts and close your eyes, I swear you think you're eating potato chips. It's fantastic. What? Nothing will make this taste better, but this one is off the charts.
Nothing's gonna make this one taste better, but this one.
I'm just
Catherine, I
telling
love
you the truth, right?
Oh
so, but let me tell you why nobody's doing this. Okay, number one,
you have the corner of the market.
No, algae's been sold for 60 years. There's like 30 companies on Amazon. There's probably 50. You can go to any health food store and you can find tablets or powder of spirulina and chlorella, and it's been sold there since the 60s. But the trouble is the quality's been very poor. Most of it came from China. Ours comes from Taiwan, which is the highest quality algae. So number one, ours is higher quality and safer. And by the way, we're the only company that does third-party lab tests here in the United States at an FDA approved lab, so that you can be sure that it's safe. We sell our tablets through doctors' offices, chiropractors, functional medicine, so they need to know that the stuff is safe and not toxic. So that's number one. The quality was poor, so people wouldn't even know what it was because the packaging was so weird. This is a picture. This is the chlorella brand that's been sold in America for 60 years. What does it tell you?
Yeah,
nothing.
I'm not buying that one.
Nothing, right? Meanwhile,
that scares me.
I have a brand of spirulina that helps with your skin and hair health. Look how beautiful that is.
That's pretty. I like that.
You know that's going to be doing something for your beauty because it says beauty bits on it. So nobody changed the packaging. The quality was poor. And you know, this could have worm guts in it for all I know, right?
Great.
It's crazy. So I was determined to help people understand the benefits. So I packaged it. We do lots of, you go on our website, it's very pretty, very comfortable. But the thing is, you only know what you grow up with. Yep. Algae isn't grown in America.
Nope.
99% of algae is grown in Japan and Asia and Taiwan. You can't ride your bicycle to school in Japan or go to work without driving by an algae farm. It's everywhere. What do we have here in North America? Ugh. Crappy corn, crappy wheat, crappy everything. And those are useless crops. Ugh. Absolutely inflammatory, zero nutritional value whatsoever. And so you didn't grow up with algae. So, and you don't know what it does when you see it in the store. No. And it's because it's a food. There's no patents. So biotech companies aren't going to do anything with it. It's not a drug. So the pharma company's not going to do it. And food companies don't launch new products. They wait till somebody like me has done all the work, and then they come up and they scoop you up and acquire you. So that's why you don't know about it, because you didn't grow up with it. Nobody explained it to you. And it's been virtually invisible in the stores and tasted terrible. So I've done everything I can to make it easy. If you swallow it, no flavor. I've done all the packaging to make it really comfortable and easy for you to understand. When you see something called the ENERGYBits, you think, well, it's got to have something to do with recovering something. You recover your health with it. And I've spent 12 years writing papers, speaking at conferences. I am hoping that, when I go to conferences, it doesn't matter whether it's a spa conference, beauty conference, wellness conference, chiropractic, biohacking, I am still the only algae company there ever.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. Meanwhile, there's collagen powder, crappy collagen powder everywhere. By the way, you know that stuff's made with melted down skins and bones and hides. What do they melt it down with? Chemicals. Do they tell you that?
No.
No.
Makes me nuts. Makes me crazy.
And so collagen went from nowhere to being everywhere because they had, and it got acquired by, either one of the big food companies 2 years ago for $1 billion. Yeah. So you're going to see collagen everywhere. And algae outdoes collagen by like 100%. In fact, it has more collagen in it than collagen powder. How's that, right?
That's amazing.
So, it's taking a while. There are other countries are now exploring algae. I mean, algae will change the world. I'm just very, very, very early. I was early 12 years ago. The trouble is, even though I am 66 and I don't want to be the only person telling people about algae when I hit 70. I'm hoping somewhere along the line somebody notices it because it's a game changer for our health, for the world, for your kids, for our all the diseases that we have.
How about studies, Catherine? Are there any studies happening right now?
Are there any studies?
Man. I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah. There's been 60,000 studies on spirulina and 40,000 on chlorella. So that's 100,000.
Yeah.
That's a big number. And it's on everything from inflammation to heart disease to cancer to skin to athletic performance. I mean, I've personally read about 3,000, but it's endless. It's absolutely endless. The problem is there's too much information about algae. I think that's the other issue is like, where do you even start?
Well,
go, Tamar.
And a lot of what you're talking about, I mean, so for me, I'm, Lane's kind of the more sciencey one of the two of us, right? And the technical terms. And a lot of the women that we work with and deal with, they're mothers, everything is about their kids. Maybe they're divorced. A lot of people are struggling, especially after the pandemic. So with something like this, because for us, October is self-care month. So everything that we're talking about, and that's why we really wanted to have you on the show, is for, that mother that's sitting here listening that is like, okay, I understand that if I take this, I'm getting my vegetable intake in, I'm probably going to get some more energy. But what are some of the other physical benefits that they as moms, will get that they'll start to notice right away, something that will.
Yeah. Well, and number one, you need to be sure you're taking enough. In terms of the energy, again, spirulina will give you energy, but it's not lightning bolts from the sky because there are no stimulants. There's no caffeine and there's no sugar. So the nutrition comes from for the energy comes from the nutrition. As I mentioned, that high concentration of protein, all the B vitamins, which convert it into energy. But it's not the kind of, you probably won't even notice it unless you're maybe doing some sports activity. The way you feel is just fresh. That's it. Nothing more dramatic. There's no drama with algae. You just feel alert and fresh. And the cool thing is, the energy truly, it comes really from the metabolic issue, because the algae stimulates ATP production in the mitochondria level, and it facilitates and protects the mitochondria from damage. So not only do you get a lift in your energy within minutes, and your brain fog will go away, you're getting the long-term benefits by having improved metabolic health. And we'll go into the deeper explanation of how that works later on. So you'll get improved energy, lack of hunger, but no hangries and no cravings. A lot of cravings are because you're missing important nutrients. And algae has, as I said, it's the most nutrient-dense food in the world. And here's the thing. As Lane pointed out, even if you're eating lettuce and vegetables, I'm here to tell you, unfortunately, our soils are so damaged. You could eat a room full of arugula and not get as much nutrition as in that tiny little container, probably even half of that container, because the soils don't have any nutrients in them anymore. So you're getting fiber and you're getting calories, but you're not getting nutrition. And if you want to understand one of the important things about the nutrition, we're going to talk about chlorella in a minute, but they both have the highest concentration of chlorophyll in the world. Here's the chemical composition of chlorophyll, and here's the chemical composition of your hemoglobin. Notice that they're virtually identical. That's because they are. The only difference is your hemoglobin has iron in the middle, and that's what carries oxygen in your blood. But you, as I said, you could eat a room full of arugula and you won't even get nearly enough chlorophyll to have any kind of medicinal benefits. So paleo people aren't eating many vegetables. Carnivores certainly aren't eating any vegetables. And even if you are eating vegetables, they as you get older, a lot of people don't have the digestive enzymes, so they cause gas, and there's a lot of waste because they go bad. Arguments at the dinner table. So you'll definitely get all of your chlorophyll needs met, which will help build your blood. And when you have healthy blood, you're going to have a healthier body and healthier brain. So nourishment, number one, removing of cravings, number two, energy, number three, removal of brain fog, number four. And then because it is so nourishing and at the cellular level, your skin will improve because your skin needs collagen to grow, and it is nourished from your blood supply. It has chlorella in particular, but both of them have something called vitamin K2, which moves excess calcium out of soft tissue and into your bones. So that protects your elastin and protects your bones. Most osteoporosis cases are with women because we have smaller bones to start with. So, and the reason why there's a lot of this osteoporosis is because we are eating a diet of acidic food. Remember, this is what got me on this whole process. My sister's oncologist wanted her to have an alkaline diet. And you say to yourself, well, why? Well, we know about the chlorophyll and the phytonutrients, but here's why. Your body, your blood needs to be at a pH. pH is the measure of acidity, and it goes from 0 to 14. 14 is very alkaline. The low numbers are very acidic. Your blood needs to be right in the middle, 7.34. And so if you eat too much acidic food like sugar and processed white foods, or you exercise too much, or you're emotional, it releases acidity in your blood. So your body is so intelligent, it pulls minerals out of your bones and your organs immediately into your blood to balance that out, because you would die if the pH of your blood got too acidic. But if that happens over and over and over again, that's one of the contributors to osteoporosis. That contributes to wearing down your immunity. So when you take algae, your immunity is going to improve because you're A, giving your body all the nourishment you need, and B, you're alkalining your blood so that process doesn't occur. A lot of this, that's why with most people, they use the chlorella for health and wellness because it's the highest chlorophyll in the world and builds your immune system so well. But so most people take the spirulina in the morning because that's when you're hungry. That's when you have to get out the door to get the kids to school, or you're going to a workout, or you're going to work. It's when you want brain focus to get your work done. Doesn't matter whether you're a brain surgeon or a truck driver. You want that energy, that nourishment, that to get you through the day. So you could have 10. It could be a meal replacement. You could take, 15 or 20 or 30. They come in little pouches with 30. So whether you're traveling, you're stuck in work at the office in a meeting, and you don't have time to eat properly, and you don't want carbs, this is your answer. 30 calories if you took full 30 for lunch.
Is that a suggested serving is 30?
Well, we're suggesting now 10 because when I first started, we got noticed by athletes, Olympic athletes, triathletes, marathon runners. And when I was working with them, we started with them 10 and then 15. It wasn't until we got to 30 that they were starting to feel the energy, but they're elite athletes. By the way, we fuel entire NHL teams. We fuel entire Olympic athletes, and they're very careful about what they put in their body. So for elite athletes or for a great workout, 30 would be the magic number. But for consumers, 10 is plenty to get you started in the day. And if you want to break that up into smaller quantities, that's fine. You know, I stopped telling people how many I took on a daily basis because it was freaking people out, but I ate far more than that. There is no upper limit. Our NHL players put 75 of these into their smoothie before a game for energy on the ice, and they put 75 chlorella in their smoothie after the game to pull out lactic acid and to build their immune system so they don't get sick. So you know, and they do that every day.
Let's talk about kids.
Oh man, they're so fantastic for kids. You will never have to worry about your children not eating properly again. And we recommend 1 or half a tablet per their age. Okay. So if they're 4, give them anywhere from 2 to 4 tablets a day. If they're 10, give them 5 to 10. We've had mothers with literally newborns loving this product. I have pictures of a young girl mother. There was a chiropractic couple, and they came to my booth at a show a couple of years ago, and they had this adorable 16-month daughter, and they had been feeding her chlorella since she was born. She came up to my table. This little girl, who was no more than maybe 1.5 feet tall, in 5 minutes, she ate over 100 chlorella tablets. And green dripping everywhere from her mouth. I mean, finally I said to her parents, I think she's had enough. Like, she would have just kept eating this stuff. She loved it. Kids love them. They like to chew them because it turns their tongue green. They think that's really funny. They stick their tongue out, and if you could turn it into a game, the kids are in for life. They will never have colds. They will, if they're going to play a soccer game or any kind of sports. I just got an email today from a mother whose kids are all in gymnastics, and she says they love them because it gives them so much focus, so much energy, and it's the easiest food to digest in the world, especially spirulina. Remember, they give this to newborns in Japan, preemies. So unbelievable. Pets too. Your cats and dogs will go crazy, and that's the true testament. If your pets love this stuff, you know it's good for you. It's
Tamar,
amazing.
Are you there?
See, my dog used to love carrots, so I'm sure that he would have loved this.
Yeah, and you could have a little snack with your pet. You know, you and your pet, you're sitting on a rock and watching the waves come in, and you know, have a snack, give your pet a snack. It's you know, bonding over algae tablets.
Sharing is caring, and
sharing is caring.
I think that, you know, the ease of it, because I remember I used to travel at the time when I was taking them, and I could take these little packages or the little container it comes in. And for people that are always on the go, like I used to be, and I know a lot of our listeners are on the go, busy, it's convenient, right? Because sometimes it's tough to eat right. I mean, you know, I can be on plan for a long time, go away, and then, you know, I'm not eating as much vegetables as I'd like to be eating. So this is like, if you're traveling, such a great resource to have where you can just, you know, at least you're getting the nourishment you need, which is very cool.
Yeah. And again, because it's 0 carbs and great for intermittent fasting, fits with every single lifestyle, great for diabetes, both if you have diabetes or are trying to correct it. And we haven't even got into the true medicinal benefits at the mitochondrial level. But it is remarkable what this stuff does. And it's the ease that you mentioned that really drew me in, because we've been telling people to eat vegetables for 50 years, and unfortunately now the vegetables, A, don't have the nutrients, and B, it's still too much work, and also the prices have gone up. You know, I did a calculation, because there's 1,000 tablets in a bag of our that we sell, and using that quote from NASA that 1 gram of algae has the same nutrition as 1,000 grams of vegetables, I did the math and realized a large bag of tablets has the same nutrition as 551 pounds of vegetables.
Oh my God.
551 pounds. That's efficient nutrition. And it never goes bad. I mean, we have to put an expiry date on it for 3 years, but technically it will never go bad. You could have this for 5 or 10 years. So there's no waste. I mean, I don't know about you, but my arugula goes yellow after about day 3, and
Yep.
my tomatoes go mushy after a couple of days. I'm throwing out half of my vegetables. So, this is the answer for saving money, saving time. I mean, it's unbelievable what it does in terms of nourishment and just giving you back all that time that you don't have to spend in the kitchen unless you want to. I mean, it's totally your choice, but when you're traveling and you're a busy person, it's definitely feels the need.
Catharine, you've put a lot of time and a lot of energy and your heart into this business. I can feel it. It's
yeah.
the vibe. It's your life. It is like you've had beautiful presentation things to show us, which has been fantastic. What else do you like to do?
Well, I love yoga. I'm a big yoga person. My fitness routine has dropped a bit because I have worked so hard for so long on this. But I love to walk. I've started working out a bit more. I've started getting back into Zumba classes, which is fun. But yoga, I've been doing yoga for 15, 20 years. It's my go-to for sure.
What's your favorite song?
My favorite song?
Yeah.
Music song? Well, I don't really have a favorite song, but I have favorite musicians. Like Chris Botti is a big fan of mine. I'm a big fan of his. He's not a big fan of mine. I don't think he knows me. He certainly doesn't know me. Not yet, although I'm available, Chris. 1-800, call Catharine. I listen to a lot of instrumental meditative music because that's how I start my day and end my day. I don't have any children. My products, my company is my child.
That's your baby. That's your baby.
It's fortunately, it's growing up. It's getting into adolescence, and it's getting a little bit more action. But and I have
Do you
two
think
sisters.
that somebody will acquire you? Would you go that route?
Well, I will tell you, it's been a lot of work. This was a labor of love.
Yeah,
I'm an educator. I'm here to help people understand their bodies and why algae is a perfect fit. So eventually, probably only with the right company to help me get it into more distribution channels, because that's not my strength. That's not my interest. I promised the universe I would get algae out into the world. And so, and I'm not going to let the universe down. But at some point, I'm going to have some help if we want to get this out to people. I will tell you that we do have some interest from some bigger organizations. I can't say yet, but you will start to see it in a few more places. But right now I've determined to stay with places that are high quality, like doctors and chiropractors.
Good.
Never want to be in the GNCs and vitamin shops of the world, because that's not, and we're a premium product. So I take a lot of joy in helping people understand it and feel comfortable with it. That's why I design things. I used to be a publisher in Interior Design magazine, so I seem to have a design eye, but I taught myself package design. I taught myself supply chain.
That's a lot.
I taught myself the science. I have the equivalent of a PhD in algae nutrition. I'm hoping one day someone's going to give me an honorary degree.
Oh, man.
So, this is just too important for the world. And when you see the science and you see what it does, both anecdotally with people, I mean, we had a gentleman who was 72 years old who had such bad dementia. He couldn't figure out, he wrote us a long letter. He couldn't figure out how to turn the microwave on. And his wife got him on both the algae, and within 2 days, his brain fog was gone. And, those are the things that keep us going, right?
It makes total sense. If it is that nutrient dense, it's going to not attack, that's not the right word, but the body's going to be able to use it, right? If it's that nutrient dense, it's going to change everything. I love this. This is such an easy tool.
It is an easy
put in the
tool.
toolkit.
Yeah. I think, right now I kind of visualize all of our bodies as dried up sponges. Like we're just, when they're crunchy. And so your brain is immobile, your body is immobile. And so algae is like filling the sponge with water. It fills it up. So now everything is flexible, everything is working, and it just renews you. Your body is what's healing you. Algae is just the the nourishment that gets the flow going again. I mean, even if you're a spiritual person, it's really hard to be spiritual when your body's full of toxins. And we didn't get a chance yet to talk about chlorella, but it pulls out toxins, everything, all the heavy metals, lead, mercury, radiation, aluminum, lactic acid, alcohol, by the way. So if you take this after you have had a couple of cocktails or a glass of wine, you will be sober in an hour and a half, and you never have a hangover. But it's the detox. I read a statistic that the average adult in North America has 800 toxins in their body. Yeah. So chlorella pulls it out. And I remind people, we take a shower every day. Taking chlorella every day is like giving your body a shower from the inside. And it's, by the way, remember I said chlorella has the highest chlorophyll in the world. The spirulina has the highest protein. I want to show you this. I put a couple of tablets of the spirulina in water, and see how the beautiful blue dispersed evenly. That's the blue phycocyanin. And I did the same thing with the chlorella, but it didn't disperse, it clumped. And I did this probably 10 or 20 times. Finally, I found out why. The blue is a water-based pigment. That's why phycocyanin does things like stops the growth of blood vessels to tumors. It's called anti-angiogenesis. It's a water-based pigment. Chlorophyll is a fat-based pigment. Why is that important? Because your cell walls are made of fat. They're called lipids. And so we've all been told, and we are taking omega-3s and vitamin A and Ds to ensure that the lipid surface remains porous. Well, chlorophyll is a fat-based pigment. It does the same thing. So when you are taking chlorella or either of the algae, you are nourishing the cell wall with healthy fats. And I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't done that experiment. And then I went online and validated it with science that chlorophyll is indeed a fat-based pigment.
Oh my God. You're going to become my new best friend, because you're like me. You like to get into the science and I'm all into the research. So when
I have to know why something works.
Are you a Gemini?
I gotta know.
Are you a Gemini, Catherine?
I'm a Virgo. I know.
Oh, you're Virgo. Okay, so that makes sense. That totally makes sense. But I'm sure you have like Gemini in there to get so brainy in there.
Yeah.
You were talking about 12, 13 years ago reading the science, right? Like nobody was doing the research, and here you are going into it and really looking at it. And I appreciate you so much for that, because you're providing us women a tool.
Yes.
Right, Tamar?
Yeah, absolutely. This is amazing.
Yeah,
you don't need to do the heavy lifting of the science. That's what I'm here for.
Right.
And so I enjoy helping people understand the science with very simple analogies. Yeah. And we write a very comprehensive blog. So if you do, and I reference everything, we'll send you some links. Great. I reference everything. So if I will send you a link to the biohacking mitochondria, there's probably 200 science references just in that PowerPoint. Great. Because I won't say anything unless I have seen the actual science. Yeah. And then it's not just enough to have one. I have to cross-reference about 100 times. Yep. I'm just so buttoned up.
No, I appreciate that. That's so true. We're going to actually, I think tomorrow what we'll do is we'll put this in the community, the video, right? The video, because I like the little pictures and stuff. And so our community members can see just even that fat lipid cell, that what you just showed us, the blue and the green. And I think that'll be helpful for our community members. So if you're not a member, you might want to become a member over at thenowwhatsociety.com. You could join.nowwhatsociety.com. Tamar, would you rather only eat the bits for the rest of your life or eat chicken strips?
I'm going with the bits here because I have tried the bits.
But you love chicken strips.
I do love chicken strips so much.
Here's the great thing. If you are taking 10 of each of the algae, so most people do take the spirulina, ENERGYBits in the morning, because that's when you're hungry and tired. And most people take the chlorella at night because your body goes through a detox repair cycle when you sleep. So if you have this while you're sleeping, it's like having the cleanup crew in there while you're getting all your beauty rest. So if you're taking at least 10 of each a day, you can have those chicken strips because now
No, she can't.
you're getting nourished by the algae. This is why it's so great. If you did nothing else, we're not saying change your diet, change anything, just add. Because there's so many diets that tell you don't do this and don't do that and stop taking that and stop. And I'm just telling you, just add this. That's all you have to do. And I promise you will feel better. And then if you want to do more, you can. But this is, as I say, I call it effortless. I also call it intelligent food because you have to be intelligent to take it. And it knows what to do in your body I just have to get it in your mouth. And then Mother Nature, she's got it all figured out.
Well, and the reason I answered the question like I did, because I mean, our listeners know how much I love chicken strips. It's actually been about a week and a half since I've had a chicken strip, is because of, knowing I could only have energy bits, if I had to give up the coffee, all the other stuff, then I want to replace so it covers all of that, not just the chicken strips, but, everything that I need in a day to feel good. And I know that, only eating chicken strips for the rest of my life will probably not work out so well. So yeah, I love it.
Yeah. And you're here, Catherine, to support longevity.
Oh,
right?
Big time.
Yeah. So would you rather, Catherine, this is for you, would you rather be the first woman to get a signal from outer space or have the ability to transform women to live an extra 100 years?
Well, I've already done both. I argued with the universe for 5 years. Pick
You
somebody.
got the signal.
Pick somebody else. I don't know any science. Like, why are you picking on me? Because this thing, this whisper, and trust me, the universe does not shout, it whispers.
Yep.
And when I helped my sister and then I got this little whisper, you can help more. No, I don't, no, I can't. No, I can't. You can help more. No, I can't. Okay, I'll try. Then you can help more. No, I can't. I can do more. So I've already had the
You've already had the signal from.
And I'm already helping women. If all I need to do is get this ladies into your mouth and you will live with me for another 100 years. I can promise you this. It's crazy. Now, and so think about it.
Yeah.
Algae was the first life on Earth, not just the first plant, the first life.
Yeah.
Before algae, Earth was just gas and water, no oxygen, no life. Nobody knows why the first cell started growing, but it was a cyanobacteria like spirulina. And then after it was an anaerobic cell, which means that it was generating ATP and releasing oxygen. And after 1 billion years, there was enough oxygen for other cells to grow, and that they were aerobic. Okay, I'm going to jump to my last slide, but I still want to.
Okay, bring it on. I love the slide.
So first of all, you got to think to yourself, there's got to be something special, maybe even spiritual, about the first life on Earth, and it's still here, okay? And there was no oxygen before. So then, again, cyanobacteria like spirulina, first life on Earth. 1 billion years later, plant types, organisms like chlorella started growing. But now the little anaerobic cell is struggling because it's an anaerobic cell. It doesn't do well in oxygen. Meanwhile, the bigger cell that did well in oxygen wasn't doing so well generating ATP. So the big cell engulfed the little cell, but instead of digesting it, I can imagine the conversation. The little big cell says to the little cell, hey, I see you're struggling over there with all that oxygen. How about you come and join us? We'll protect you from the oxygen and you can generate ATP for us. So that little cell that was by itself, cyanobacteria, like spirulina, became mitochondria.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, and it's documented in science. It's called Endosymbiotic Theory, and so this is why. And I jumped to this one before. Usually I talk about the mitochondria, but so when you take algae, you are giving your body yourself.
Yeah, it's those first cells, that first composition That's crazy.
And
So
so
cool.
it's so cool. And so so I'm going to go, I'll reverse, because I've never talked about that before I talked about the mitochondria. So everybody knows your mitochondria are what generate energy for your cells, right?
Powerhouse.
But the problem is the ATP that's produced is exactly where your mitochondria DNA are. Here's your cell, and here's your regular nucleus.
Yep.
And then, but also see these little peanut-shaped things? Those are your mitochondria. And by the way, there are 2 million of these per cell in your brain. 2 million. Think about it. 2 million in one cell in your brain. That's the highest concentration. The second highest concentration is in women's eggs. 600,000 of these mitochondria per cell in a woman's egg. Why? Because the highest concentration of mitochondria are where the highest energy needs are. Your brain, and creating a new creature, a new human, takes a lot of energy. The third highest is in your heart, and then the rest of your organs and your muscles. So anyways, here's your cell. Here's all these little mitochondria, and inside the mitochondria is where the ATP is produced. But guess what? That's also where the mitochondria DNA are. Now, a byproduct of ATP, they're free radicals. Free radicals are like sparks. And so they're frying your mitochondria DNA every single nanosecond. Meanwhile, your regular nucleus over here, your regular DNA, which lasts a lifetime, it's in the cheap seats. It's not getting burned by the ATP or the free radicals, but your mitochondria DNA are. And it turns out your mitochondria DNA control your nucleus. They control your cellular membrane. They control everything. They are like the air controllers at an airport. If your air controllers at an airport get sick or damaged, planes crash. So when your mitochondria DNA get damaged, your health crashes. It's that simple. So the key is to protect your mitochondria from free radical damage. So the problem is, and there's two ways to do that. One is reduce the number of free radicals. Free radicals are mostly produced by carbs and sugar. You can go on a keto diet, fewer free radicals.
I love the presentations. I love these.
The cars, so awesome.
I made all these, by the way. I
so
made everything.
brilliant.
I made everything because I want people to understand.
God, yes.
You get you'll always have some free radicals, but almost none from algae or fasting, intermittent fasting or water fat. It doesn't matter. You'll always have some, but almost nothing. So number one, the cheapest, easiest thing for you to do is reduce your sugar and carb intake. So there'll be fewer free radicals damaging your mitochondria. That's relatively easy to do. The second thing, so it's reducing the free radicals. The second thing is removing the free radicals. But here's the problem. Normally we would take antioxidants, right? We all know about blueberries and all the dark polyphenol fruits. But the mitochondria have two membranes. The outside one, antioxidants get in, but there's an inner membrane that no antioxidants can get in except glutathione, melatonin, superoxide dismutase, and chlorophyll. Those are the four that can get into that inner membrane. And you can it's almost impossible to find these four antioxidants in food. Now, the good news is your body creates melatonin, glutathione, superoxide dismutase from the moment you're born until the age of about 30. And then after the age of 30, they drop and drop and drop to virtually zero by the time you're my age. This is why your mitochondria DNA constantly get damaged, because your natural supply of these free radicals is absent after about the age of 50, and it's definitely decreased after the age of 40. So
and this is why women are on the floor like, I can't do anything. I'm tired. Yes. Okay, keep going.
Your mitochondria drop after 30, your melatonin, your chlorophyll. Well, you don't eat much chlorophyll because you eat whatever. So this is when and how and why your inflammation is increasing, right? It's because if I tell people, we know more about our cell phones than our bodies. If you understand how your body works and why algae is the perfect answer, this will make it a lot easier for you. So algae has the highest concentration of those four antioxidants that can get into the inner membrane and stop free radical damage. They literally turn the free radicals into water. That flatlines your inflammation.
Yeah.
Now, why can't those normal antioxidants get into the inner membrane? This goes back to this is why I don't usually do this one first, because that inner membrane is left over from the ancient days when it was by itself. And when it got absorbed, a second membrane, the one that all your cells have, which is the porous lipid membrane, was put around it. But the original one has that hard membrane, and the only things that can get in there are the things that were originally there: melatonin, chlorophyll, superoxide dismutase, and glutathione, because that was the original core nutrition that was in the algae. So we've got to help people realize how to reduce the free radical damage and to remove the free radicals. But you won't get it from food, because those don't exist in food. I think there's 0.0000% of superoxide dismutase, and I know that's a big mouthful. It's also known as SOD. And superoxide is the most damaging free radical in your entire body. And I used to wonder, well, why is it known as the most damaging? And I finally found out. Anybody who doesn't know what a free radical is, they're on your atom. It's an unpaired electron, and so it steals electrons from its neighbors. It's like, it's stealing someone's mail. But then once the electron's been stolen, it's now you have an atom that's damaged, and so it goes and steals somebody else's atom, and so you have this cascading effect of free radical damage because all these electrons are being stolen. But this thing called superoxide, it's missing 3 atoms, 3 electrons. So it has to steal 3 times to become neutralized. So that's why this thing called superoxide dismutase is like your fireman. It puts out the fire of all those free radicals that are like sparks. Imagine free radicals, consider them as sparks. Or another analogy for you is rust. You ever seen a boat or a building or a car that's left out in anywhere? It oxidizes and it causes holes. That's rusting. Your cells are oxidizing due to these free radicals. And so the way to stop the free radical damage is with these 4 antioxidants that neutralize them and turn them into water, harmless water. I don't have a stitch of makeup on, and people always think I'm in my 40s. I have my younger sister who I got on this whole path with. She's 6 years younger than me. I look, 15 years younger than her. And because even your skin, you have free radical damage going on in your skin. So it's at the cellular level. It's your heart, it's your brain. And this is why they're realizing things like Alzheimer's is a mitochondria disease. Yes. Think about those 2 million mitochondria per cell in your brain. So if you can fix the mitochondria, that's the first thing that's going to get fixed. It's a beautiful thing from food, Mother Nature's food.
Number one thing. Oh my goodness. Well, we live in this modern day world, and humans have not evolved to keep up with this modern day world. So we're walking around with all this oxidative stress that is destroying us from the inside out, right?
Yeah.
So
we're rusting from the inside out.
I like that. Yeah, I like the way that you talked about that rusting. So the bits are such an easy tool. Again, I keep going back to the tool. And if you're in our community right now, I really, if you're not in our community, I really want to invite you to go into the community so you can see this presentation that Catharine has just really shared with us. It's incredible. I'm giddy over here because she has done the research and she knows the science, and I'm like validating, yes. It is so great, Catharine. I am so psyched to have you on our show today.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so grateful that you have this show, because there's people like me who, there's thousands of us, quite honestly. I'm not the only one out there. I'm one of many, many voices. And I stand on the shoulders of these amazing scientists who've written all these papers.
Yeah.
But I know what it feels like to be so confused.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so all I would tell people, maybe when you're going on a trip, you 1 mile at a time. You're going on a run, it's one step at a time.
Yep.
So I took this journey to understand why something was helping my sister so well. I had to know. And 12 years later, now I know. And now I want to share. All I want to do is
brilliant.
share.
So good.
And so I just urge people to take a deep breath. Don't get scared by the science. I've tried to make it as easy as possible. There's other people. I know I am the only person, however, speaking about algae, but there are other great people talking about other kinds of processes in your body. And we all work together and help one another. Yep. But I feel like I've won the Nobel Prize because I've got something that's going to change the world, and I just want people to use it.
Yes. Oh, and we have a little, if you want to try ENERGYBits, right? We have a discount for you. Now what? You can find that in the show notes because we want you to get on it.
Yeah.
Get on it.
We want you to get on it, and we want you to thrive in your life. Tamar, do you have any closing comments?
No, just, being somebody who has tried the ENERGYBits before, they are fantastic, and even the ones that don't taste that good, they're not that bad. I mean,
get some macadamia nuts.
Yeah,
exactly. It's definitely worth a try. I mean, get it. You'll definitely notice the effects of it. They're very positive.
Very, very concentrated nutrition.
Yeah.
And what I would say to anyone who's listening, algae isn't new. It's just new to you. And think about it. 5 or 10 years ago, you didn't know about chia seed or kiwa or matcha or collagen or CBD. Right. And so algae's been used since the Egyptians. It's been used forever, but it just has not been explained to you. Don't be afraid of it. Make sure you check your sources because not everybody's as high quality as we are.
But they're going to get yours, the ENERGYBits.
Yeah,
we're only having ENERGYBits. You're going to get that discount code.
Yes.
Yep. Now what? And it's like you're winning here with us.
I truly promise you that it doesn't get any easier. As we said at the beginning, it's never too late to feel great. Do it for yourself. Do it for your children. Do it for your future self.
The future self. I talk about that too. The future self.
I channeled this down from the universe, and it's like I struggled. Not, I'd like pick somebody else, but here I am, 12 years later.
It's you.
Here I just want everybody else to enjoy what Mother Nature has provided for us, and I've just made it easy for you to understand what it is. It's all her. It's all her.
So Tamar, thanks for hanging out with me today.
Thanks for hanging out, everyone. It's been so much fun, and thank you, Catherine, for being here and sharing your wisdom and this great product.
Incredible.
Thank you, ladies.
We'll see you inside the community.